Qualifying, right? We've got buyers that want to see properties before they get qualified for a loan. We have buyers who are dead set to use their sister's best friend's brother that somebody in the family did a refinance through 9 years ago. So when you got a buyer that says, no, I just want to look at properties. I'm really stable financially. And when I find the right property, I'll go and work on getting pre-qualified. How do you overcome that objection, Kendall?
Such a good question. I always start with, I just say, hey, this is such a learning experience. So let's start with the first thing you do that makes this whole process so fun, because it should be fun, is to sit down with your lender. I do this all day long. I have 3 favorite vendors that I use consistently. These are the people that you want to be talking to get in front of. Let's start there, because once you know, in this volatile market with interest rates going up and down, once you understand where your monthly payment's going to be, given what you're going to be putting down, and options to buy that rate down if you're not comfortable with it, then it's fun. Then you're shopping. So let's not start with going shopping. Let's start with figuring out what your budget is for the shopping spree. And then we go out and have a blast, because there will always be a home out there that will be right. And when you start with the end in mind, that's the most appropriate approach.
I love it. Dave Z, I just want to see some properties. And when I find the right one, then I'll sit down and talk to a lender.
I get it. Yeah, I get it. And that it's fun. It's a lot of fun to look at properties. And this may go against the grain. I'll actually do it. So for those of you out there that say they won't do it, I will, but I'll put a limit on it. But if I'm trying to build rapport with somebody and it's not working, I don't want the friction there, because I actually want to sell them a home. So I will do it, and I'll put a number on it of how many homes we'll show. But eventually we'll have that question and say, listen, this is a huge, huge purchase. This is probably the biggest purchase you're making. And this process favors the prepared. You will do so much better if we're prepared. And what that looks like is we're going to start down, like Kendall said, we're going to begin with the end in mind. And we're going to go through what you qualify for, what you want the payment to be. It's fun looking at properties, but it's a lot more fun when we know we can afford it. When you walk in that home, here's what I want for you. If we sit down with our lenders, I want you to walk in that property and go, okay, this is $1,836 a month. Got it. I want you to know exactly what that payment's going to be for you and not for somebody else, and just have a ballpark figure. And then I go back to that phrase, would that be helpful if when we went out and looked at properties, you had a crystal clear price of what that home would look like on a monthly? Would that be helpful? Would that remove some of the doubt and confusion in your mind? And my scripts always end up with, would that be helpful? And then I let them tell me it won't be.
Really good.
Which they're not going to. No, that won't be helpful. So that's how I handle that.
It was all incredible. This process favors the prepared. And that wrap up to each thing, this would be helpful. Absolute gold. Absolute gold. Are any of you using buyer agency as consistently in your business?
No.
Perfect. Dave, I agree with what you shared, especially on a web lead, like an Ojo type lead. We received a connection with a consumer. I am very much in alignment with you with my own personal business, my team, go and show a few properties. At the same time, we are immediately pre-qualifying. How long have you lived in the Valley? Where do you work at? How long have you been there? What are you considering as a down payment when you do meet with that lender and find the perfect property? So I'll get enough info from them out of that process that I feel comfortable having myself or my team show them a small handful of properties, build the trust, form a relationship, and then move very directly to establishing that pre-approval relationship. So I don't disagree. I would just, on my side, I'd add in, we can still lob over some general pre-approval questions. Okay, you don't have a job, you just moved here, you want to put zero down. Like, maybe we shouldn't see homes yet. Really good, really good.
Yeah, and I'll just add, Craig, I think there's too much friction in the process, and that's why consumers get frustrated with realtors. There's friction. And if it's a web lead like Ojo, the first thing I say to an Ojo lead is when I see a property come over and say, hey, Craig, Ojo just connected us. I see they sent me over a home on 5th Street. Did you want to go look at that property? That's just, that relieves so much. The sales guard, I think, just falls down when you just say, did you want to go see that property? And they usually are like, yeah, I do. Great. When did you want to go see it? 3:00 today. That's perfect. That works for us.
Well, if you think about it, Dave, you're catering to what the 2023 consumer wants. We're in a high demand world. We can push a button and have an Uber pick us up in 5 minutes.
Yep.
We can push a button and have a package on our porch by Amazon within 6 to 24 hours. And they pushed a button and frankly, they want to see a home. So I love that your opening script. When would you like to go see it? Because that's essentially what they're asking for. Everything else can fall into line afterwards.